of the crypto and NFT markets. And I'll be going through a few projects that I have been keeping an eye on lately. So first up, we've got the crypto market. Now we've got a total market cap of 2.4. So this did hit 3 trillion at some point, and we're right back down to 2.4 trillion. So we've dropped a little bit, and we have had a bit of a crash, in these last few hours. Bitcoin is down to 54,000. It's down 8%, nearly 8% on the day. So that's not too good. Cardano down 11%, XRP down 10. Okay, but Ethereum is down 10%. Let's hope Ethereum holds at 4,000. But this is going to be interesting because this should mean, that money is going to flow into NFTs. If we take a look at June analytics, we don't have enough of an update to see how today's going. The day hasn't progressed enough. But we can see the last few days haven't been too well, but we did see Ethereum run up, So now that it's had a bit of a retracement, hopefully today we'll get a bit more volume and we can start to think that we are, making a bit of a, a support here. But we'll see because we are seeing lower highs. But again, this tumble in Ethereum could mean that volume increases. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Users are pretty good. We saw quite a lot of NFTs sold in this last month, and users are just increasing. So again, we've seen, monthly activity. It's just nearly 300,000 users. So that's awesome news. Lots of people are getting into NFTs, and it's just a matter of time before their money comes with them. But to look at a few projects that I've been keeping an eye on lately, first up we've got the Littles. So I really like the Littles. I have been a fan of their Discord. I have been a fan of their artwork and just the general vibe, the way that they are just super open with their roadmap. They're not making these crazy promises. We've got a game in the metaverse. We're doing all this. That every project seems to have these days. So they are pretty open and honest about it all. And, they've got a big following on Twitter. They have about the same amount in their Discord. And their partnerships speak for themselves. Like, I haven't seen anything with such a good lineup. We've got, what do we got? We've got Kongs, we've got Sup Ducks, and we've got Kaiju Kings, all part of their partners. So they will be, they will be trading with Bananas at some point, Vaults and R-Waste. And they do have two, so far, secret partnerships that they did say they didn't want to release, information to the public because they didn't want the sale to be, unfair. Interesting. I don't really know how they can top these three guys, but curious to see what happens next. I mean, if it's Bake and CryptoPunks, then that will just blow this out of the water. But we'll see, because they don't really have the same structure as these guys. So I don't know what they could do, but curious to see how that plays out. Now, if we look at the floor of the Littles, now this minted about, let's say about 11 to 12 hours ago it started, so it is still in its pre-sale phase, and people are still buying them. Let's just refresh this data, because we have about 5.5 sold, 5.5 minted, and some people are offloading. So the floor is pretty good. So this was a 2 mint whitelist. So each person who got a spot on the whitelist was able to mint 2 pieces. Now this generally means that people will sell one to earn some profit and maybe hold on to it to see how it goes. I'm surprised that this is so high regarding it, considering that it is a 2-piece thing. If it was a 1-piece, I expect this to be far higher, but it's really interesting to see. This did drop down at some point. When it first came out, people were selling them at 0.5. It dropped down to 0.4, and maybe there were a few sales below 0.4, but it rose straight back up, nearly hit 0.7, and it is finding some support around this area. 605 ETH in volume in 11 hours. It's pretty wild. So, the floor is, it's looking pretty thin, to be honest. There are only 300 pieces being sold. So only 300 of these Littles are available to buy right now. It's going to be solid, I think. I don't think too many people are going to want to offload this. If we jump onto the Nansen data, we can see volume has slowly decreased. Of course, that's what you would expect, but the average price has jumped up. So there have been some notable buys along the way. And we did see a big bounce in price when it got down to about, like, we've got a really good level of support here at about the 0.45 mark, and I don't expect it to get below that. I mean, until reveal, we'll see what happens. So this has been active for 11 hours, and it is a 24-hour minting period for the whitelists. So after that, the public will begin, and I expect the price to go up and continually climb. Upon reveal, I'm not too sure. Like, as we know, 98, 99% of all projects do dip after reveal. But in saying that, the next project we're going to talk about didn't. So curious to see what will happen here. Now, the next project that we are going to talk about is SODA, or Society of Derivative Apes. Now, again, I find this project interesting because I have been keeping an eye out on these secret Twitter discords. You have to access the Discord in a certain amount of time. There's 25 members allowed in, or the invitation is open for 1 hour. It's just interesting to see, and I've been curious to see how these are going to play out. Because of that, there was a lot of hype on Twitter. So we've got 17,000 people, and there's probably only about, at some point, maybe 10,000 in the Discord. I don't even think it got that high. And it was whitelist sales only. So interesting that the floor dropped quite a bit because there was some major FUD. Now, this was an interesting project at the point of sale because it got hacked, and the hackers, in my opinion, were very clever. Not that I condone it, of course, but they did release a fake website to go to at the minute of minting. So whoever was ready, they hacked the account and they released a fake website in the moment that the mint began. So they did get away with 40 Ethereum, but Soda, they've doxed themselves. They seem like awesome guys and girls, and they are going to pay back everybody who was affected by that. So that's out of their own pocket, and that's awesome. And that is what you want to see, when projects have that kind of integral backbone to them. And I like Soda. I like the art. I think they look really cool. I'm going to be finding it hard to sell one of mine at, that I really do enjoy. But the price of them now, they were interesting, as I said before, because they bounced up after reveal. So not many projects do that. In fact, I'm trying to think, the last project I can really remember to bounce like that after reveal was Galaxy Eggs. So you don't see many. This was the FUD. This was when there was, some crazy hackings or whatever, and people didn't really know what was going on. Kind of got resolved, and it sat around this before reveal. And then reveal came and it pumped, which is unexpected. And it did get up. The average sales were 0.34. People were buying well above the floor. The floor was sitting at about 0.22, 0.23. And it was, fairly steady around then. Now, it has dropped since then. Ethereum did have a big run up yesterday. So we did see a lot of pullback in price. Curious to see what happens now as Ethereum has retraced today. And we'll see where this goes. It has dropped back down to the price it was during the pre-reveal phase. So we'll keep an eye on these. There hasn't been a whole bunch of notable buyers recently, but there were some, people were into this. People were into this, and curious to see how it's going to go. It has been around for 6 days, believe it or not. I find that a little bit hard to believe. I don't think that's actually correct, to be honest. I'll have to double check that because I minted it. Couldn't have been a week ago. All right. Well, it would have been 3-4 days ago. So I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it's interesting to see where it's going to go next. The floor right now is at 0.136. So, it's America are pretty much going to be waking up soon, and it must be 7:30 there, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they will sell, maybe they will buy a bunch. We're not seeing a lot sold above floor. There's a few pieces here and there. So people are kind of buying them. There's 5K, around 5K wallets for 10K. So we're looking at about maybe 2 per person. It's not too bad. Obviously, the higher that number, the better, the more distributed the wallets are, the more confidence I have in a project. So out of the 10,000, how many are listed? We have nearly 3,000 listed. So nearly 30% of all the tokens are listed for sale, which I don't like that too much, but the floor seems pretty thin. This could bounce, this could bounce back up to 0.17 fairly quickly, and who knows what will happen then. Anyway, with Ethereum down, we don't really know how this is going to play out. I guess we're going to just watch what happens with these markets. Like if Ethereum hangs here, I think money will flow into the NFTs. But we'll see. Like, look at this. We're getting real close now. Oh, it's below 54. All right. Anyway, well, we'll have a look at this, I guess, in a few days, and we'll see how they did perform. But awesome. Wrecking Ball here, and I'll catch you later. Bye.